In my area, mostly every single million or multi-million dollar home has one of these. A beautiful window wall, whether small or absolutely massive, triangle windows or rectangles. It seems everyone's idea of luxury is bringing the outside in, being able to see the beautiful nature around you. But I, first of all, couldn't afford to build a massive wall, and I definitely could not afford to hire something like this out, which is why I took it upon myself to DIY my very own window wall, starting with the framing, installing the doors and the windows, and finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the drywall returns and the finished product of my window wall. Time to get this wall prepped for drywall returns, because I don't want there to be trim on this wall.
But first, time to cut out the spray foam insulation that's spilling over the edges. On a window wall that barely has enough room for trim, doing drywall returns gives such a luxury feel. It's more expensive to hire out though, but of course doing it myself means the labor is free.
The next thing I'm gonna do is PL foam shims to the depth that I need to make the drywall returns level and plumb.
And yes, there's already wood shims, but honestly, they were really inconsistent. They weren't gonna make for square corners, and they split easily when screwed into.
In Canada, you can't just cut your foam back because you take away the vapor barrier, and we require a vapor barrier around our entire house. So I'm gonna put in some Acousti-Seal, that's a vapor barrier, and it'll seal back up that spray foam without getting in the way of the drywall. I've decided to use green board for the drywall returns.
It's really important that when you're doing the drywall returns that your drywall does not touch your vinyl window or sliding door. So I'm leaving a gap in between the two that will be caulked. This allows for the expansion and contraction of the vinyl. And it creates a barrier from the moisture that might be on the vinyl window.
Oh, I am so excited for this. It's gonna look so good. Even just with one piece up, it's like, wow, what a difference. This window wall is a dream of mine, a dream that I've been wanting to bring to life for years. And now that I'm working on it, and once it's done, I feel like I'm gonna be able to really look forward and start thinking of these future projects that I want to do in the home. And Cam and I are getting into woodworking. So for our 11th wedding anniversary, instead of buying each other a bunch of gifts, we've decided to buy ourselves a planer because both of us want to get into woodworking. So if you have any wood planer recommendations, not the hand planer, like the table planer, please let me know which brand you love in the comments. And together, him and I have been watching videos from the Woodworkers Guild of America. Thank you to the Woodworkers Guild of America for being the sponsor of this week's video and the sponsor of our date nights. And the Woodworkers Guild of America is your online resource for woodworking instruction, information, and ideas. And I was even learning the difference between a jointer and a planer. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do we need both of those? Last night we watched a video on how to make a circle on a table saw, and it was so cool, and he did it in such a safe way. Like for me personally, I want to learn better table saw safety because it freaks me out a little bit. Their website features a vast collection of woodworking tutorials, consistently updated with fresh content where you'll find interesting articles, project ideas, and product reviews. Join this amazing community by clicking the link in my description below. And the first 1,000 people to use my link will get a full year's premium membership for only $1.49, which, come on guys, way less than a crappy small cup of coffee.
This offer is valid for new members only.
And let me know in the comments. My first woodworking project was a vegetable hod. What should I do next? I cannot get over the night and day difference between the before and after of just putting the drywall returns up, not even finishing with drywall mud. I'm blown away. It looks unbelievable. So much more clean. I'm gonna fill these gaps because this was like the edge of the drywall, so it curves in and it needs to be more flat. I think before doing the drywall corner, probably don't need to, but that's quite the gap. So I am gonna fill that. Now that the bottom half is partially done, I'm gonna just rinse and repeat on the top half, get my scaffolding out, get all those returns in before I start putting the drywall corners on.
Hello, you're getting so big.
You know what I'm realizing as I'm doing this? This isn't gonna line up unless I do something different. Right now, the drywall piece that's gonna go here is gonna be a 1/2 inch past this drywall return, which you will notice because it's not supposed to be like that. They're supposed to be in line.
At least I have a cute fawn to keep me company.
It's crazy how long even setting up these shims take, but I think it's gonna be completely worth it. Time to get the drywall pieces in. It's gonna transform the entire space. The drywall strips are officially up. It looks so good. Now, the only issue is I have some inconsistencies and unevenness. I was telling you about how this lower half was a 1/2 inch back, then right above it, and I can tell when I look at it. I thought it was gonna be the same with the other side, and it's not. It seems that this window is a 1/2 inch this way more, and so I do need to find a way to kind of fudge this a little bit because the only spot I need to fix is this side. I don't even know what to say and how I got this so wrong. I just reshot my laser. It's way off. And so this is definitely where some of the issue is coming from, was I just made it way too wide out. So I'm gonna cut it with my bread knife. So we're getting there, but I think what I need to do next is just carve out the front of each shim and leave the back so it'll be a little bit out of square, but it'll still appear in line with everything else enough. Here is the before. I can't even believe how out it is. And here is the after. Much better. Again, there's some really big gaps here. I'm gonna go ahead and do some pre-filling before putting on the tear off strips. Next thing I have to install are these tearaway strips because I'm gonna mud right up to them and it helps make a really clean look for the drywall return and it keeps separation away from the sliding doors. A lot of people will apply a spray on it and apply it to the drywall. Because it's vinyl, there is movement. So usually it cracks right here and people are saying even if you use a spray, it still cracks. So it's best to tape over it. And I got 5 fuse for that. But it sticks right in between and you staple it in. Now that those tearaway strips are installed, it's time to install fuse along the edge of them. The issue is this stuff is like violent and really hurts your fingers. That's moldy. I forgot to cover it with water. I'm gonna deal with that, not right now. First thoughts on fuse, it feels a lot more rippy. Like I don't know what this whole thing is about it being stronger because it rips really easily. My whole body is itchy right now, even though I'm wearing the gloves. My legs are itchy, my arms are itchy, but I hope it holds up to the test of it being a strong material to use for joints, for expansion and contraction in this case. Good morning. Everything is looking great. Today is the day I do my outside corners. Also, I need to do my inside corners with paper tape. Gotta use paper tape, cannot use fuse. That's a terrible idea. I do want to get all of my outside corners set and cured so that I can finally fill all of this in. So I have my paper and metal corner beads. These are the easiest for like adjusting. And I'm gonna use a laser level and I have my snips to cut it to size. And then you can apply your corner, and I always leave the factory edge that I haven't cut up at the top and the part that I cut up down at the bottom where it's gonna be covered by trim. Time for the laser level and time to check square using a knife. There just needs to be enough on this side to fill this completely in, which once this gets squeezed out, there will be without the metal piece sticking out. And there needs to be enough on this side to fill it in as well, making it as even as possible. And then you can squeegee it all out. And time to get the reps in before doing the tricky part, lining up the center. It is going rather well. I'm excited to finish this off, but what I wanted to show you is for my inside corners here and here, I'm gonna not just tape with paper tape. I'm gonna use wide flex because paper tape is really tricky to get into those tiny interior corners. Paper tape can like budge and buckle even on regular 90-degree corners. And I'm just gonna let that sit and soak up some of the moisture, settle a bit first before I pull the rest of the mud out. All right, I have the top one placed, but not like smushed in because I wanna see how they look in comparison to one another with the laser. I think at this point, if it's uneven, the damage is kind of done. So the top one is like an 1/8 inch further out. That's not gonna be noticeable to the eye, I don't think. Good morning, it's time to fill everything in today. I'm gonna start off with the inside, do some admin work, let it dry a little bit before I do the other side. But I'm so excited because right now, it doesn't actually look like I've done much over the last week. Like you can tell around the edges, but that's it. Filling all of this in and all of this in is gonna make a night and day difference. Also, it's turning into sweater weather. It's happening. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this yet. I think I might need a 6-inch blade. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna fill it as best as I can and then come back in and wipe it. I mean, that's really straightforward. And first coat just doesn't matter. There's gonna be a second coat, but the first coat is just to fill it all in. Okay, admin work is complete. These guys are pretty well dry. So I'm easily gonna be able to do this side without kind of gouging mud on either side. The thing I am not a huge fan of, that I didn't really have a lot of control over, is that this side is painted and finished, although I'll probably do another coat after flooring is done. And this side is not. So I'm thinking it's probably best if I just take a piece of tape and protect the painted side. That way it's easier when it goes to, like, I guess sanding this corner down, making sure not a ton of mud gets on the painted side. Oh, yikes. This knife wasn't working well because its corners aren't as like sharp as these. So luckily this fits. The benefits of having such a big wall is that you can't see the whole thing while you're working, so you get to have your own mini reveal. I've done this all throughout the build of just giving myself little mini reveals, and it makes my heart so warm. So here we go. Holy, it's nighttime too, so it pops so much. I still have to do second and probably third coat, but oh my goodness, it's stunning. Oh, I'm so happy I went with drywall returns instead of trim. What? Oh my goodness. Holy sh. It somehow looks like twice the size in here now. Just this wall looks so much bigger because it's so much more defined instead of having these chunky white lines or wood around the doors and unfinished drywall and screws and patchy mud. Like, it looks so good. I truly didn't think it was gonna hit this hard. I love it. I get to look at this every night. Good morning. It's looking stunning, sharp. I can't get over it. Wow, I can't get over this. What? Time to fill in the next coats. I'm just gonna go around and scrape off any like inconsistencies, any pieces sticking out. Might even sand some spots. If you peel towards your corner bead, it's gonna be less likely to gloop everywhere. This lift off can just be sanded off after. I find this really only works if you wet it first, or else it leaves streaks. But if you wet it first, it works really well. It's just so unbelievable. So that's drying. I don't have a ton of time left today. I have to clean up. Not only this, but I have a project coming up in the next video. This room and that room. Any guesses? Put them in the comments. So let's do a time lapse of cleaning. I've been told people like these. Do you like cleaning time lapses? I don't like cleaning, and it's my birthday. And anyways, I also sanded on my birthday. Pretty good consistency for the third and final coat. I'm not filling this in anymore unless there's some spots that really need to be filled in. It's just a quick skim coat. All right, last time. I don't think I've ever been more excited to sand before because I'm just so excited to finish this wall off and get to painting it. All right, so the whole point of using these tearaway L bead strips is that you tear this little edge off and it just makes for a really clean, finished drywall return. And honest to God, I'm so thankful I used them. They worked so well. They made the job so clean. But now I have to take them off and then I'll eventually use silicone or whatever in the gap. Well, it's not tearing away as easily as I thought. So much for a tearaway strip. You suck. You have one job, and it is to tear away. There we go. There we go. That might just be easier to use the knife. There we have it, a nice clean line. Then the drywall is fully protected from moisture because there's a gap here. This is great. And time to sand. I got my light. Everything is looking good though. I'm kind of surprised. That last like light skim coat really made things look great. All right, so So it's going over half decently, except for one spot. I'll show you the good spots first. Like, it's looking great. That's awesome. This is what sucks. Some of the paint is peeling off. Like, what the heck? I primed it all. It shouldn't be peeling. I'm a little nervous. I don't think I have any ceiling paint left over, and it's started peeling that one spot on the ceiling. So, fingers crossed it doesn't keep happening. So fortunately, it wasn't terrible with the paint peeling everywhere, but unfortunately, it was bad in this one corner. But supposedly, I can just sand to reduce like the paint ridges and prime again and paint. I'm really glad that the ceiling didn't get all messed up, only in a few spots. Before I get to priming, I am gonna wipe down every surface. It's super dusty, and that dust can cause paint adhesion issues or primer adhesion issues. I truly don't know what happened in this corner because I primed with a really good primer. I used pressure with either a roller across the wall or a paintbrush. I cleaned everything with a sponge, but I guess it is what it is. And now it's time to prime. So I'm gonna use a brush on all these inside drywall returns. And for the corners, after it's primed and dried, I'm gonna go over with 220 grit sandpaper. It smooths any imperfections out underneath. And honestly, I'm not seeing any imperfections, but you always see a little bit more after you prime. Oh, I love the color. It's the same color as the rest of the walls. I just love it.
I did also go ahead and add a little bit of mud to where the paint peeled off in that corner, sanded, reprimed that area. And now I'm so excited to be painting the wall the same color as the rest of the walls and ceiling in this room. One final step until we can see the grand reveal and the moment we've all been waiting for, finally finishing this wall off.
Can you believe it? It is officially finally done. The window wall of my dreams, looking absolutely brilliant, bringing the outside in, being able to see our giant wetlands and pond, seeing the openness in front of our house. It's been a long time coming. I framed this wall over 2 years ago. And other than the caulk, which I'll do when I go to trim, it's done. It's done. Oh, and the trim at the base. I love how sleek and modern it looks. I love how cohesive and finished it makes the space feel. And I hope you guys love it too. All right, guys, happy Sunday. Thanks for tuning in for this one. Subscribe if you haven't, like, comment, and I will see you next week.